Hold up.
I hope you're having a great day. Today is World Cancer Day. And while the world celebrates this day, there's a lot to talk about cancer. Today, I don't want to preach to you which are the foods that are good for cancer, which are the foods that are bad for cancer. I don't want to preach to you about the importance of exercise or any of that. When we look at cancer, the number one thing that we have to look, there would be many of you watching this who are focused on prevention. There would be many people who have cancer. There would be many of you who know people who are suffering from cancer. The number one thing that we need to understand is cancer is not a death sentence. Okay, and it's not because I'm saying that. When you look at data, before you allow your mindset to be controlled by what the media constantly tells you, there are more deaths from diabetes. There are more deaths from cardiovascular diseases. So is it fair to say that diabetes is also a death sentence? Or cardiovascular diseases are also a death sentence? The first step to prevention and healing of any condition is your mindset. What is in your mind? What is that limiting belief system that you have that is now controlling the way you live, the way you eat, the way you sleep, the way you think? It all starts from here. Yep, you can take medication, you can do the best chemos, you can do the best radiation, the early detections, nutrition, and all of that stuff. But number one, what is going on in your mind? When we are hit, and I hope we don't get hit with cancers and other deadly diseases, yes, it comes with pain, it comes with fear, like anything else. It comes with all of these things, but the mindset that you choose is your number one most important thing that you do. You see the difference between people who survive, the difference between people who don't. A lot of it has to do with the mindset as well. Yes, there's medication, there's the kind of cancer and all of these things. Now, what we also don't know, and that's why most of the world lives in fear, because the media, you should understand this by now. We learned this from the last 2 years of the pandemic. The media threw limelight on the number of deaths, COVID deaths all over the world. We've not even come close to the number of deaths that people have from diabetes and cancer and cardiovascular in a single year. But what becomes important in our mind is what the media constantly feeds us with. The limelight is on a particular virus today, that becomes the biggest thing in your life. And everything else, which is probably worse, doesn't get the highlight that it needs to, doesn't get the limelight that it needs to. So number one, it's interesting today to see the statistics that medical science throws to us. Out of 100% of the cancers, 5 to 6% may be very, very, very strong relation to genes, genetic. What about the balance 94% of cancers? Since morning today, I've been on radio shows, I've been in TV shows, and the one question that people constantly ask, Luke, we're all getting cancer because of pesticides in food. Luke, we're all getting cancer because of pollution in the air. No, you're not. Because we're all breathing the same air. We should all have cancer. We're all eating the same kind of food. We should all have cancer. Yes, there are carcinogens in the air that you breathe. Yes, there are carcinogens in the pesticides of the food that you consume. But cancer is a multifactorial disease. There are many things that contribute towards your cancers. The way you live your life, your lifestyle, your sleep, all of these things. So yes, we're breathing air that has carcinogens right now, but our body's immune system is also protecting us. The number one thing that you have to learn about cancer, because sadly, when today even experts are asked about cancer, they say, oh, we don't know why we get it. Putting more fear in people. Of course you know why people get cancers, at least why most people get cancers. If it's not genetic, it's because of lifestyle, period. It's because of your lifestyle. So when you have the wrong foods, you create the wrong immune system. You create inflammation. Cancer is an inflammatory condition. That's enough for you to tell you the importance of your nutrition, whether you have cancer or you don't have cancer. Exercise is linked with every single condition, which is why cancer research centers, the WHO or whatever, they all talk about the minimum or maximum exercise that you should do, because exercise is required for blood circulation. Blood circulation carries nutrients from the food that you eat and oxygen from the air that you breathe to trillions of cells in the human body. Cancer today we know is a breakdown in your DNA, in your cells. What can create a breakdown in DNA in your cells? Sleep deprivation, the wrong foods, exposure to vices like binge drinking of alcohol, smoking cigarettes, pesticides in food, carcinogens in the cosmetics and the creams that you use and the shampoos and all of that stuff is again a contributing factor. Your cream alone isn't enough to cause cancer, but your cream along with your poor lifestyle can slowly lead to a buildup of all of these things in your system. So I think the most important thing is our mindset. Cancer is a multifactorial condition. And then of course there's destiny. If you're destined to get it, there's nothing that anyone can do. The best medication in the world is not going to work for you. The best nutrition in the world is not going to work for you. But we don't understand destiny and we don't know what we're destined for. So we leave that in the corner and we focus on what we can control. A lot of people get cancer and they say, Luke, it's my karma. And I'm like, so you've accepted it's your karma. What are you going to do about it now? How do you know it's your karma? Maybe life's going to give you a different kind of karma later. Maybe cancer is not your karma and it's just the poor lifestyle that you're living. Maybe it's just that. And people say, oh, I've been a bad person and now I'm punished with cancer. Okay, how can you say that? Because when you put these things in your mind, it makes you accept your fate. When you accept your fate, you don't move into action. You give up. And I can tell you one thing. Today, I want my video to be based on all the things that I've learned over the last 9 years from all of my cancer patients across the globe. If you give up in your mind, the battle is over right then. If you get that cancer and you say, it's all over, I'm going to die, that's exactly what's going to happen to you. Okay? The subconscious mind is so powerful. The most powerful drug is your mind. Chemotherapy, radiation, nutrition, all of that is secondary. You have to decide whether you are going to come out of this and not. And even the people who have strong minds may eventually die. We don't know. That's destiny. That's not within our control, but it doesn't mean we do not try. So the first thing that you got to get out of your head is cancer is a death sentence, because it isn't. What about the millions of people who have had fourth stage cancer and are still living today? So how can you call it a death sentence? With the amount of deaths from diabetes and cardiovascular, is it fair to then say that cardiovascular disease and diabetes are also death sentences? But we don't say that. We take what we've heard and we allow them to grow into our mind and form our mindsets. And our behavior stems from the mindsets and the limiting belief systems that we grow. And all of us have it, but we got to break it down. How do we break it down? The second thing about cancer is there are no shortcuts, there are no magic pills, there are no magic chemotherapies, there are no magic radiations, there are no magic nutrition supplements, there are no magic oils, there are no magic turkey tail mushrooms, none of that. None of that exists. There is wisdom in chemo done the right way. There is wisdom in radiation and surgery and nutrition and all of that. It has to come together. So don't ever find yourself in a place in life where someone's trying to sell you this to cure your cancer, because it doesn't exist. If it existed, there wouldn't be cancer, but it doesn't. It doesn't exist. It's an integrated approach. When you have a disease which is multifactorial, which means many things have caused it, one solution isn't going to work for you. You need a multifactorial solution as well. So yep, if chemo has its place, take it the right way. By also addressing the root causes, working with the side effects of the treatment, building up your lifestyle. Chemotherapy alone is not going to be your answer forever, because your cancer is going to come back over and over again. You got to do the whole thing together. It's a breakdown of your system. You're going to have to look at your sleep, your emotional wellness, your nutrition, your exercise, your spiritual being, the side effects of your medication, and your mindset that you have. All of this goes into putting cancers in remission, or making your cancers less dangerous, or prevention, recovery, whatever it is. Today, a lot of people say, oh, Luke, but you don't have a chance with a brain cancer. 2 to 3 months is what they say. How many people are living 4 to 5 years with a brain cancer? There's your answer. There's your answer. Why are you putting limiting beliefs in your head? And if you're destined to die, you're going to die. Even with the 5% of genes, today we know epigenetics. Epigenetics gives us promise and hope. that even the worst genes can be upregulated and downregulated by controlling your internal environment and your external environment. So yes, there's even hope for genetic cancers. Maybe you'll have to go through a lot more treatment than some other cancer, but there is hope. Now let me tell you what I see and my team of doctors and nutritionists see over the years. Your emotional wellness plays a huge role in your cancers, prevention and recovery. And let me break that down for you. Everyone today talks about stress. Acute stress is great for us, but chronic stress, I'm talking about resentment. I'm talking about chronic guilt. I'm talking about chronic anger. I'm talking about the chronic emotional baggage of your past that you are carrying every single day. I'm talking about you living and being stuck in toxic relationships with partners, with family, with siblings, with friends, in society. Please understand, these are all massive contributing factors to disease, cancer included. Now, a lot of people say, hey, Luke, but everyone has stress. Everyone does. But the question is, what are you doing about it? Everyone and most people are also doing drugs. Does that mean you do it? If everyone's smoking, does that mean you do it as well? No, you find a solution. The easy way out is, oh, everyone's got stress. My question to you is, what are you doing about it? Because we have enough of medical science showing us. And when you understand this today, you will understand why chronic stress is so bad for you. Every time you're chronically stressed, your cortisol and adrenaline shoots up. Your estrogen shoots up, your progesterone drops down, your testosterone falls down. You have now bigger problems. Your thyroxine, you have fluctuations. Your insulin and blood sugar levels, along with your blood pressure, all of that is affected. So all of your hormonally induced cancers like endometriosis, ER-positive breast cancers that are fed with an estrogen dominance, where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? A lot of it from your chronic stress. Now, while I understand stress is difficult, cutting away from emotional baggage is difficult, forgiveness is difficult, acceptance is difficult, letting go is difficult. Okay, life is also difficult. If you want to make the change, you're going to have to put in the effort to build better emotional wellness, period. It is necessary for prevention and it is necessary for recovery. You don't want to be the patient, okay, who has fluctuating levels all over because you're constantly stressed. Your medicine now becomes useless. Your nutrition now becomes useless. Emotional wellness, and I can tell you this, out of 90% of the people we consult with, the one question I ask every one of my cancer patients, what was going on in your life 6 months to a year to 2 years before you got diagnosed with your cancer? And 90 to 94 to 95% of the times people have this deeply rooted phase of emotions in their life that they went through. And then you know what? After we talk about this, they say it. I think this was the start of my cancer. I was so stressed out, I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I was getting sick all the time, my immune system was all over the place. And it's good to know this. It's good to know this. Why? Because now you can work on it so that you can put your cancer in remission if you can and keep it in remission if you can. Otherwise, the relapses constantly come back. Now, am I saying that if you're out there today with emotional baggage, you're going to get cancer? Absolutely not. Remember, it's multifactorial. But because of your emotional baggage, what else is it affecting you that can bring on your cancer? You're not eating right. You're not going to be craving apples and pumpkin seeds when you're emotionally down. You're going to be looking at the sugar foods, the carb foods, the ultra-processed foods that help you feel good because you don't feel good within. And now because you eat that, you start to get diabetes. We all know the correlation between diabetics and cancer. We know that a cancer patient with diabetes, okay, it's worse for them. Not impossible, but worse, because fluctuating blood sugar levels have every connection with feeding your cancer. We know that. Medical science knows that today, which is why it's so important for you, if you have cancer, to bring your diabetes in control, or best, never to get it. So now your eating habits change. Now you have new problems. Now you put on weight. We all know the connection between extreme body fat and obesity and cancer. And now because you do that, you're sad, because you get into a vicious cycle of guilt eating. And now because you have that problem and you're stressed, you can't sleep. And because you're sleep deprived, you have other problems. Which brings me to my next point. Sleep deprivation and cancer have every connection. Every connection. There is enough of scientific literature out there to show you that 2 to 3 to 4 nights of sleep deprivation decreases your immune system, your N killer cells. Those are your natural killer cells, which has a job to identify rogue cells, abnormally growing, proliferating cells that can become a cancer. But it's low and compromised by 50 to 70% because you're sleep deprived. So while you may have the money and the wealth to fly around the world and take fancy treatments, it is useless if you are not willing to change the way you live, which is improving your sleep, working with your emotional wellness, activity and movement. It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to join a gym. I'm talking about walking, I'm talking about jogging, I'm talking about dance, whatever it is that you want, but I'm against a sedentary lifestyle, which has every connection with disease. And then your nutrition. It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to go onto juice diets and raw diets and all of that stuff, because if those worked, everyone would be recovering from cancer. You have to understand that you're a unique spiritual being. What works for someone else doesn't have to work for you. So yes, your body may be carb efficient and you can have carbs and get into remission. You may need the right amount of fats to get into remission as well. You need to treat yourself as a unique individual, period. While meditation may work to be a calming technique for someone else, a walk in the park or a walk in nature may be your technique. Meditation doesn't have to work for everyone. You got to find your niche and add that into your life. You got to disconnect yourself from all the false media that exists out there, all the unnecessary Googling that you do. You have to change your lifestyle, whether you're looking at preventing cancer or you have cancer. A change in lifestyle is going to help your medicine work better. Medicine works better when you sleep better. Just because you take a medicine doesn't mean it has to work. What about all the people who went through chemotherapy and got the cancers back again? That's why the medical world doesn't guarantee you that this chemotherapy will make sure you don't get your cancer away. This radiation will make sure that you don't get your cancer away. This surgery will make sure that you never get cancer again. Why? They can't guarantee it because they're only treating the symptom. Nor in the natural world can you guarantee it as well, that if you eat clean, you won't get cancer. You may still get cancer. Nothing can be guaranteed. But when you take a holistic approach towards your spirit and your being, everything can get better. You start aligning your body with the laws of nature, the circadian rhythm, everything gets better. If you're in a toxic relationship, there are trillions of cells in your body that are toxic 24/7. How can you be healthy? So the point is, while there's so much of complication in treatments and diets, the simplicity, our most complicated cancer cases around the world where we've, with the grace of God, had success, have used the simplest techniques, the simplest foods, the simplest ways of enabling people to change their lifestyle. When you're taking a medical treatment, there are side effects. That doesn't make the medicine bad, but it makes the treatment dangerous for you if you are not looking at managing the side effects of that treatment. Remember that. That's why a lot of people say, oh, I'm on the best treatment, I don't need anything else. And they're still not changing the way they eat, sleep, move, or think. And they never get better. The symptoms come down, and then 3 months later, the scan is up and it's spread to a different part of the body. Why? What makes you think that your medical treatment that is only designed to treat the symptoms will address the root cause magically? You got to address the root cause. You got to find the root cause and address that, while your doctors do the best that they can do, which is medicine and a symptomatic approach. So you need to improve your sleep. Sleep is magic. Melatonin that is involved in sleep is an anti-cancer vaccine. Science mentions it as an anti-cancer vaccine because when we sleep, melatonin is a hormone that communicates with your immune system to try to identify proliferating cancer cells, then warns your immune system kicks into action and takes care of it. So when you're sleep deprived, you are depriving yourself of using your own intelligence within your body to protect you and to help you recover. But who spoiled the system? We. Instant gratification, we want quick fixes, we don't want to put in effort, we don't want to put in the hard work that it takes to stay healthy. So the world has all of the quick fix options for you. Hey, can't sleep? Here, take a sleeping pill. Here, take something else. And now you're sleeping, but you've actually suppressed your entire metabolism. So you see, there is a space in your life for all of these things, but you also got to keep a massive space in your life for nature, to work, because you are a product of nature. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that. You are a product of nature. We are aligned with nature. So medicine has its place. Nature has its place along with medicine. It can never. You are losing the battle when you choose medicine alone. You are losing the battle because medicine is designed to treat the symptom, suppress the symptom, alleviate the symptom, reduce pain, not take away the root cause. Only you can take away the root cause by addressing your lifestyle. And that is what is so important for us to understand today. We have a lot of patients who are dead. We have a lot of patients who have survived. If people ask me in interviews, Luke, what's the difference between those who won and those who lost? Number one, it's not a game. Number two, these are people who have accepted their condition, moved into action, and they move with a mindset that we are going to do this. I also have people who had a very positive mindset, but eventually they died. Destiny, we don't control it, we don't understand it, we don't know. But they tried. And they lived that life with cancer with minimum side effects, a better life, spending time with their families and loved ones. My point is, a lot of people who get cancer are still in denial. Denial makes you a victim of your disease, a victim of your emotions. Once you get the disease, whether it's cancer or diabetes or whatever it is, you first need to move to acceptance. Okay, it's got me. Go through the phase of why me? I did so much, I'm healthy. Good. Go through that phase, feel it out, write it out, exhaust it emotionally. Then you got to move into acceptance. Because only when you're in a state of acceptance can you take the right action. Okay, I got it. Now what's the best thing I can do? What are the actions I can take? But if you're still in victim mode, you're a slave to sympathy. You're a slave to your emotions. You can't think clearly and you do not have the ability to take action. So you take action by first moving into acceptance. And then you design the best treatment, whatever it is that you need to do. You keep the powerful drugs in your life, which is family, people who love you, people who care for you, friends, people who are there to empower you, not just give you sympathy all the time, or every time you get an ailment, they give you 10 remedies and 10 things that they read on Google. You don't need those people around you. You need people who give you empathy. People who are there, come on, we're going to do this together. Come on, let's try this. We have nothing to lose. Let's do this. People who will push you on, people who will uplift you. You got to surround. Those are powerful drugs. Having the right family members, the right people around you. Very, very important in your overall healing plan. The world can preach early detection, X, Y, Z. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. We've become very good at detecting stuff. What about the solutions? We are great at testing high blood pressure, diabetes, all of that stuff. What are the new solutions? Very little. Very, very little. There's a lot of money to be made in detection. Do it. I'm not against it. But you still got to change your lifestyle. You still got to look at your emotional wellness, your sleep, the way you move, your exercise, movement, your nutrition. All of these things play, and you got to nurture the spirit. Because remember, you were born with a spirit within you. Each and every one of us, irrespective of our religion, our color, whatever, we are spiritual beings. We have a spirit within us that has a massive impact on our health, physical, mental, emotional, intellectual, spiritual. You got to nurture your spirit. When you kill your spirit every day by trying to be someone you're not, comparing yourself, doing things you don't like, surrounding yourself with the people who tear you down rather than uplift you, feeding your body crap food that destroys you rather than builds you, depriving yourself of sleep because you want to fit into society, because you want to poison your mind with constant, endless, mindless entertainment, you're moving away from the spirit. You create disharmony. Disharmony becomes disease. The sooner you realize you're moving away from nature, that's the time you're going to start seeing changes in your body. Hormonal imbalances, weight gain, diseases, pains and aches. The moment you start moving back towards nature, you start living in harmony between the outside environment and your internal environment. So all of these things, they sound simple, but guess what? Cancer works on the principle of simplicity. Complication means more money. Simplicity means less money. So there are a lot of things that you and I have today within our control. And that's the only thing you need to focus on. What is within your control? Are you doing that? Don't talk about complication. People come and say, hey, Luke, there's this DNA treatment in Florida. Hey, Luke, there's this camp in Turkey and they can do this, 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 this. And I say, whoa, it sounds all good. Great. But first tell me, are you sleeping well? Are you eating well? Are you exercising? Oh, no, I'll do that later. No, you do that first. How is complication going to fix your body when you don't have the fundamentals and basics in place? That is what my message is to each and every one of you today on World Cancer Day. I can't promise you, no one can promise you a recovery. No one can promise you a guarantee what's going to happen, what the outcome is going to be. But you can be put on the right path. You can select the process, and all you need to do is commit to the process because you cannot control the outcome. None of us can control the outcome. Forget about cancer, for anything. Can you control the outcome of anything in your life? No, but you can commit to the process. You can be disciplined with the process. You can be consistent with the process. But if you start to try to control the outcome, you miss the process. You miss the process. Like an archer who is focused on the target wins. An archer who's focused on the prize will miss the target. So any aspect of your life, whether it's cancer, whether it's whatever, there's a process. Get the right process and only commit yourself to the process, because it is useless to try to control the outcome that you don't know, your doctors don't know, we don't know, no one knows. So why would you drain powerful energy that can go into your recovery into something like control? So you work on the things that you can control. And what can we control? The food that we feed ourselves. Even if there are pesticides in, the air that we breathe, through our deep breathing, making our lungs stronger, getting our immune system stronger. We can control the amount of exercise we do. We can control our sleep. We can control our emotional wellness if we decide to. If we decide to. The mind has a choice. You choose certain thoughts that you want, but you choose not to let go of certain thoughts that weigh you down. Why not? It's your choice. So everything can get better. These are controllables. The non-controllables, you leave. You don't spend a single bit of energy on the things that you cannot control. Because at the end of the day, what heals you is energy. You're either wasting powerful energy that can recover you, or you're conserving it and you're channeling it and you're harnessing it the right way to help you heal. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, breathe deep, and remember, you care is all about you.